Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, investigations are set into allegations of abuse in a so-called religious cult in Socorro, Surigao del Norte. The proposal to shut down pogos in the country makes headway in the Senate. And later, the government plans to file perjury complaints against two environmental activists who accused the military of abduction and coercion. Senate Committee on Public Order Chairperson Ronald Bato de la Rosa joins us in the program. The group reported to be a religious cult, victimizing over 1,000 children in the mountains of Socorro, Surigao del Norte, has denied allegations of sexual abuse. The Socorro Bayanihan Services Incorporated confirms child marriages are occurring in the community, but says the claims of rape were only made up because of political rivalry. Despite this, authorities are looking into the allegations, and two lawmakers have sought a Senate investigation regarding this. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Senate Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs Chairperson Bato de la Rosa. Senator Bato, welcome to The Source. It's Pinky, sir. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Good morning, Pinky, at maraming salamat din for inviting me.
You're welcome. Madami po tayong pag-uusapan ngayon. Unahin ko na po itong sa Socorro Bayanihan Services, Inc. Kayo po ay nakatanggap, hindi ho ba, ng sulat mula doon sa mayor ng Socorro na si Mayor Risa Timkang regarding nga itong sinasabing activities o pangyayari dito sa Socorro Bayanihan Services, Inc. or SBSI. Sir, ano yung laman ng sulat na ipinadala sa inyo?
Maraming laman, no? Puro allegations of human rights violations at meron pang allegation doon na meron daw Shabu laboratory sa loob at ito'y ginagwardyahan ng armadong kalalakihan. Kaya this prompted me to file the resolution in aid of legislation. Mag-investigate tayo in aid of legislation para malaman talaga natin yung katotohanan nito. Kasi kung totoo naman talaga, ay kawawa naman yung mga bata na hindi na nakapag-aral, kinukulong doon, pati matatanda daw, hindi daw pinapayagang lumabas sa kanilang area. Those are obvious violation of human rights, no? At lalong-lalo na yung alleged na sexual abuse na being committed by the leader of the cult. It's too early to say it's a cult, no? Titingnan muna natin kung anong kalalabasan ng ating investigation. Itong grupo na ito, yung sabi, yung leader is engaged in we can say illicit sex or rape doon sa mga minor na magugustuhan niyang gusto niyang isisiping niya. So, we will get into the bottom of this in our investigation.
Senator Bato, when you received this letter, is this the first time that you heard about this? O meron na ho kayong information in the past that may nangyayari hong supposed to be or allegedly illegal activities dito sa SBSI?
Meron kong narinig noon, no, na 2019 pa yun na information na gusto nung gobernador na paimbestigahan nga daw itong grupo na ito for the same offenses. At yun, in passing lang yun, 2019. At hindi naman nagpo-prosper. Ngayon naman, ay pumunta mismo yung mayor doon sa opisina ko. Unluckily, hindi kami nakapagharap dahil nga I was conducting a Senate hearing. Iniwan na lang niya yung letter niya doon sa aking opisina. And nung nabasa ko yung letter, I was quite alarmed. So sabi ko, aksyonan natin ito. Otherwise, hindi po pwedeng pabayaan ito. No? Hindi tayo pwede patulog-tulog sa ating mandato na mag-imbestiga ng mga ganitong pangyayari. Lalo-lalo na, we are the chairman of Senate Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs. So, inaksyonan namin. Nag-file ako ng resolution at at the same time, pumunta rin pala sila sa office ni Senator Risa Hontiveros at yun din, nagpatulong din sila at nag-deliver si Senator Risa
Right.
ng kanyang privilege speech pertaining to this.
Opo. So, medyo nagulanta nga ho yung publiko dahil dito sa naging privilege speech ni Senator Risa. Sir, there's a lot to talk about this. No? Sabi mo nga, of course, as chairman of Public Order and Dangerous Drugs. Meron ho kasing sinasabing, dalawa muna, I wanna center on, concentrate on two things na later yung sa sinasabing sexual activities. Yung sinasabing may shabu lab. I think that's what the mayor was telling you, kaya this is under your committee. And yung isa pa po, yung heavily armed men. I bring this up, sir, because the NBI already said during a report yesterday na meron silang final na nakaso, reklamo. They filed a complaint already before the prosecutor's office. At ang sinabi po ni Attorney Magno ng NBI, meron daw allegedly, they have information na meron daw may mga armas at guarded nga daw itong lugar na to. And here's the thing, sir, former police daw umano ang nagsasanay sa kanila. Either former police officers na resigned or dismissed bilang dating PNP chief. Sir, what are your thoughts regarding this? I know, of course, an investigation is in order, though.
Yes, yan din ang informasyon na nakarating sa office natin, mga awol na polis, no? Umalis sa serbisyo dahil nga sumama na dyan sa grupo na yan. And in fact, hindi lang, pati yung education nila sa loob ata ay pinapangalagaan ng mga resigned teachers na umalis sa serbisyo at dyan na nag-concentrate dyan sa grupo nila. Yun ay dapat lalabas yan sa ating investigation.
Okay. There's another aspect here, sir. Meron ho kasing supposed to be a Rosalina Taruk. Pasensya na ho kayo kasi madaming characters and names that are being floated around and involved, no? So, in that letter, I believe that the mayor sent you, there's supposed to be a Rosalina Taruk, supposed to be an official of SBSI who was killed in 2021, na yung kanyang daughter, so former Mayor Denia Florano, mysteriously died 8 days later. So, sa pagitan ng 8 days, yung nanay at yung anak ay namatay. Do you have any more information at sino ho ba sila?
Well, yun nga ang purpose ng investigation natin, no? Para malaman yung the mystery surrounding the death of this mother and daughter. Dahil nga 8 days lang in between yung pagitan ng kanilang pagpanaw at was no available police records pertaining to their death. At allegedly, merong allegation dito yung mayor na yung nga misteryoso daw. Baka this has something to do with the propagation of the cult that they are implying to.
And yung sinabi po kanina, any mention dun sa sulat po ni Mayor doon sa other illegal activities gaya nung sinasabi nga pong allegedly rape, child abuse, trafficking, and child marriage. Na-mention din ho sa inyo yon?
Yes, nakarating sa atin yan. No? At in fact, meron din sila mga witnesses daw na dadalhin. Ngayong hearing natin na gaganapin this coming September 28, no? Thursday, next week. Dadalhin doon lang yung mga complainants, mga witnesses nila. At meron pa kasama pa doon yung husband, no? Husband na allegedly lumayas doon sa grupo. Bumaba doon sa lowlands. Pagbaba sa lowlands, naiwan yung asawa niya doon. At ito daw ay pilit na pinaparimiri ng leader ng grupo ng another person doon sa loob ng grupo. So, I don't know paano nagiging practice nila ito. Na yung husband lumabas sa grupo, naiwan ang wife. Ngayon, yung wife na naiwan doon ay pilit daw na ipinapakasal doon sa another man na nandoon sa loob ng grupo. So, there seems to be
there's a lot to
some
talk
mystery.
about. Yeah, there's a lot to look into and find out, sir, kung ano ang katotohanan dito at ano ang hindi. What about this Senyor Aguila? Senator Bato, ito yung sinasabing supposedly doon sa privilege speech ni Senator Risa, ay itinuturing na reincarnation ng Santo Niño. Siya daw yung leader, siya yung spiritual leader. Bata pa ho ito, 22 years old if I'm not mistaken. Do you plan to invite him as well during the Senate hearing?
Yes, he is one of the central figure in this investigation, and it was alleged in the letter ng mayor na itong bata na ito ay apparently ginagamit ng yung totoong leader ng grupo, yung isang lalaki at isang babae na nasa likuran nito. I forgot the name. Pero itong bata daw ang ginamit na para palabasin na parang yun nga merong divine powers para sumunod yung mga membro ng grupo.
Ang nakausap ko po kahapon, Senator Bato, that yung dalawang side, no, yung isa yung sa task force kapihan, opo. At sinasabi nga niya na, well, yun yung mga allegations nga po nila. And then the other side, yung Vice President naman po ng SBSI na pinabulaanan lahat nitong allegation tungkol sa SBSI. And ang sabi niya, sir, siguro just to share the information with you, Senator Bato, na itong si Senyor Aguila ay hindi daw ay tinuturing na leader, religious leader or reincarnation, kundi isa daw siyang composer. Yun daw po ang kanyang papel doon sa SBSI. I'm sure those are the things you're going to find out during the hearing come September 28, Thursday. Senator Bato, we need to take a very short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today is, let's give him a little bit of time, Senator Bato de la Rosa. Ayun, bumalik na si Senator. Nag-jacket. Okay. Senator, there's something very concerning during the hearing yesterday that is something that needs to be given much attention. Lumabas po sa hearing ng DICT and CICC or yung CICC po, Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center, na alam ko po, nagtanong kayo hinggil dito eh. Number 2 daw ang Pilipinas sa online sexual abuse and exploitation of children or OSAEC. Ano po? At tinanong, sino ba ang number 1? Ang number 1 daw po, India. Alam naman po natin, in terms of population, napakarami po ng tao sa India compared to the Philippines. So parang pwede pang lumabas in terms of ratio, nangunguna ang Pilipinas. Sir, what are the ways that the Senate can do to be able to combat this? Because I understand they're asking for additional budget to be able to help and prevent itong online exploitation of children, sir.
Yun nga, magkakaroon talaga ito ng technological race between the criminal groups and the government. Kailangan talaga ng pondo ito. Otherwise, mahirapan mag-regulate itong ating gobyerno sa mga ganitong klaseng krimen.
How much funds do you think the Senate will be able to add, sir, sa DICT? Kasi alam ko, there was a point there, sir, that you were asking, pwede bang i-block yung mga platforms? Hindi ho ba tinanong nyo yun? Yung mga sites, baka pwede i-block. At ang sinagot ata ho sa inyo ni Secretary Ivan Uy ay kailangan daw ng enabling law.
Yes, yung nga lang, tinanong ko muna sila. Kasi magiging useless man yung ating enabling law na gagawin kapag hindi nila kayang i-implement. So that is why tinanong ko muna sila, when it comes to regulation, kaya ba nating i-regulate yung mga social media platforms? Just like I cited, just like China. Hindi basta makapasok yung mga platforms na doon. Very much controlled by the government. But dito sa Pilipinas, lumalabas na tayo ang kinokontrol itong mga platforms na ito. It's the other way around. Dapat tayo ang gobyerno dito, tayo dapat mag-regulate sa kanila. Hindi sila masusunod, kundi tayo. Kasi sabi ko nga, what if yung sinasabi ng, like for example, Facebook, sinasabi niya na does not conform to community standards ay iba yung community standard ng ating gobyerno na i-set. So, dapat tayo ang masusunod, yung gobyerno natin.
So what can be done? Kailangan ho bang gumawa ang Kongreso ng enabling law?
Yan ang lumalabas ngayon na kailangan ng enabling law na pag nakita natin na but to start with, no, alam natin na meron namang ginagawa yung ating, kahit na wala pang enabling law yan, may ginagawa yung ating mga otoridad pertaining to cybercrimes. Meron silang ginagawa. Pero yun nga, pagdating dito sa mga very powerful, malalaking social media platforms, sila ang nag-siset ng community standards na gustong sundin ng buong mundo. So sabi ko, we are a government. We have to regulate these social media platforms. Tayo dapat ang mag-set ng community standards, yung gobyerno. The government is there to govern. The government should be there to regulate. Hindi tayo ang i-regulate ng mga ibang entity.
I think it's important what you said, Senator Bato, na tayo ang kinokontrol ng platforms instead of the other way around.
Yes, totoo yan. No? Kasi na-observe natin, no, Pinky, maraming mga sites, social media sites na kinukonsidera natin na they are really for nation building. They are really for nation building. But tinake down sila ng social media platform. Tinake down sila. Tapos ito namang mga meron ding of course palaging sinasabi yung freedom of information na yan. Totoo yan. It should be exercised. Pero the standards that should be set ay dapat manggagaling sa gobyerno. Meron naman dyan mga sites na for nation destruction. Alam natin na mga site na yan ay talagang sumusuporta sa insurgency, no? Sumusuporta sa mga armadong kalaban ng ating estado, ay hindi naman natitake down. So nakikita natin ngayon na yung social media platform, they are free to decide on their own free will.
The problem
unlike
though,
gobyerno mag-decide, then talagang government regulation ang masusunod.
the problem though here siguro, no, Senator Bato, is that when it comes to online sexual exploitation, these are not your mainstream. Hindi naman po ito yung talagang madaling mahanap sa social media. Medyo tagu po ito. Kumbaga, ilan ang nakaka-access nito. Kailangan ho kasi doon mapunta yung intelligence work ng whether it be the DICT or the CICC para po matigil itong mga sites na to, para kahit papano matigil ang sexual online exploitation of children.
Tama ka, Pinky. At aside from that, hindi lang naman yan, hindi ba talaga yun yung primary duty na, no? It is the primary duty of the law enforcement community. We have the NBI, we have the PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group, at pwede rin tumulong dito yung cybercrime ng capability ng Intelligence Service of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Ito sila mga law enforcement agencies, dapat i-empower natin to sila ng gusto, suportahan natin sila para nga makahabol sila sa mga krimen na nangyayari in the cyberspace.
Yeah, but so, are you committed, sir?
Mahabol, kailangan suporta.
Sir, are you committed to add funds sa DICT or the CICC for the implementation of such work to be able to combat online sexual exploitation on children? Kayo ho ba nakikita nyo na kailangan at importante na dagdagan po ang kanilang budget? Kailangan
talaga madagdagan yung kanilang budget para magamit nila para dito sa pag-address na itong mga krimen na ito.
All right.
We really need to help. We are here to support them.
Again, another short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today, Senator Bato de la Rosa. Senator, meron pong 2 pulis, 2 cops arrested and 1 civilian dito po sa Bacoor, Cavite. Kahapon lang ho ito na report. I'm not sure if you are privy to this. But basically, the story is, nakakakolekta daw sila ng halos 1.5 million a month mula sa TODA para daw hindi sila hulihin sakaling mag-violate sila. Nag-umpisa ito February 2023, nahuli sila kahapon yung 2 cotton cops na tinatawag nga at isang civilian. Meron pong statement si PNP Chief Acorda. I'll have you listen to it and have you react to this story. Let's play that.
These individuals stand accused of collecting monthly payments known as payola from tricycle operators, drivers associations, and other transport groups. It is estimated that they amass around 1.5 million per month, with an average of 170,000 per transport group.
All right, sir. Cotton Cops, paano ho ba to? Does this merit a Senate investigation? Ang laki po ng kanilang nakukuha, 1.5 million sa isang buwan.
Hindi na kailangan ng Senate investigation yan. Dapat PNP na bahala dyan. Si Bakin na dito yan at pailan ng kaso. Sige lang tayo, investigate ng mga kalukuhan ng mga pulis na yan. Dapat talaga aksyonan ng husto yan.
Bilang dating PNP chief, sir, sinasabi there are, sa dami naman po, ano na ho ba ngayon, 120 strong PNP. There are obviously, sinasabi naman, bad eggs. Ano? Bakit ho sa palagay ninyo, ganito sila, siguro katapang, na ganyang kalaking pera ang kaya nilang kunin mula sa mga transport groups? Think about it, sir. Tricycle drivers and other transport groups bilang payola. Bakit ho, sa inyong palagay, ganyan sila katapang na para bang hindi sila mahuhuli?
At nahuli nga, di ba? Nahuli nga. Pinky, una, ikuri kita, there are more or less 220 nata.
Sorry, 220. Okay, sir.
Ang spring ng PNP. Mga 220,000 nata sila. Ngayon, when I was the chief PNP, nasa 180 pa yan. 180,000. Ngayon, 220,000 na daw sila. So, palaki na palaki ang PNP at yun nga, the bigger the organization, percentage-wise, dadami rin talaga yung iskalawag na hindi na babantayan, no? But yung tanong mo kanina, kung bakit sila ganito ka-brazen, no? Ito, unang-una, Pinky, ito nakikita ko talaga na mga tao na nagpulis, hindi para magserbisyo, kundi nagpulis ito para magkapera, para yumaman. So, again, babalik na naman tayo dito sa recruitment, paano natin sila sasalain ng gusto na masiguro natin na itong mga tao na ito ay gustong pumasok sa PNP para magserbisyo, to serve and protect. Hindi para yumaman sa illegal na pamamaraan, sa pangungutong. Diyan tayo yan na talagang kinakailangan talaga yung internal cleansing program ng PNP ay gagana at gagana. At ito naman, nakita natin, mabutit ito yung action na nila at nahuli. So meaning, gumagana yung internal cleansing program ng PNP ngayon. So sana hindi sila huminto. Lahat dapat na reklamo pertaining to this. For all we know, hindi lang yan nangyayari dyan sa Bacoor, Cavite.
Possibly,
baka
sir.
yung ibang mga munisipyo pa, ibang syudad pa, ay may mga ganitong modus na ginagawa yung ating mga kapulisan. Kasi habang tumatagal kasi, Pinky, hindi nasisita, hindi nasicheck, parang nagiging normal na sa kanila, no? Kahit na alam nila na illegal, since hindi sila nasisita, hindi lang huli, para pakiramdam nila, parang legal na yung ginagawa nila. So dapat it behoves upon the commanders ng mga police units to bantayan yung mga tao nila. Kagaya nito, hindi dapat si IDG ang manghuli nito. Dapat yung commander mismo ng istasyon na ito. Kung hindi siya nakikinabang sa kalukuhan ng kanyang mga tao, ay dapat siya na humuli dito at hindi naabot sa CIDG. So, yung nga, the doctrine of command responsibility is very important. Kagaya nito, dapat mananagot kaagad yung mga commander ng mga tao na ito. Bakit hinahayaan na mamayagpag itong ganitong klaseng mga pulis?
Okay. Sir, I have a minute left now. I wanted to ask you about the two activists, Castro and Tamano. The army said they surrendered, hindi ho ba? The two activists say they were abducted. In a situation like this, of course, there's still a lot of moving parts, no? And a lot of proof from both sides. Who do you, right now, who do you believe? And how can we get to the bottom of this story, sir?
Well, ako, hindi porke nasa gobyerno ako, Pinky. Hindi porke dati akong chief PNP, sabihin ko natin na nandito palagi ako nakaside sa gobyerno. Pero, to be fair, kung gusto talaga natin malaman ang katotohanan kung sino nagsinungaling, itong dalawang bata na ito na nagsasalita, isa-subject natin ito sa polygraph test, lie detector test ito, at saka itong mga army at police na accordingly nagkiklaim na sila ay nag-surrender, isubmit natin ang polygraph test at malaman natin kung sino nagsisinungaling sa kanila. Dahil both sides are claiming to be saying the truth, di ba?
Yes.
Yung army naman ayaw umatras. Sabi na talagang nag-surrender ito. Naisahan lang kami nito talaga dahil mga bata, mababait nung kausap namin, matitino, tapos talagang pagdating sa prescom biglang bumaligtad. So apparently parang lumalabas, sabi ng army, sabi ng gobyerno na parang may grand design itong kanilang kunyari pag-surrender at para gibain yung gobyerno.
Okay. Okay.
Maraming approach sa ginagawa, no? Pwedeng panggiba ng gobyerno. But then again, to be fair, if talaga nagsasabi sila totoo, palay detector test natin kung sino nagsabi na totoo, army or yung itong dalawang bata.
And as a last question, sir, sorry to interrupt you, what is the value of that? Because definitely, kung magkaroon po ng counter charges, one versus the other, polygraph tests are not admitted in court, hindi ho ba?
But yeah, hindi admitted in court, but it helps. It helps. Malaking tulong yan. Malaking tulong yan for us, malaman natin kung sino nagsinungaling. Whether or not it is admissible as evidence in court, hindi naman talaga natin gagamitin yan. Pero for our own consumption, para malaman natin kung sino talaga nagsinungaling.
Alright.
At sino nagsasabi.
Senator Bato de la Rosa, sir, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras, and we'll get more updates, especially next week, pagka nag-umpisa na po yung hearing hinggil nga dito sa SB-SI. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you, Pinky. Maraming salamat at good morning sa ating lahat.
And thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.